Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the 1600 AD Colonialism mod. Last time around we stamped out the biggest part of the French resistance up in North America. It should be a cakewalk now just to push them completely off the North American continent. With that said, since last time around I've gone ahead and I've done 3 turns, so there's a few changes that we need to go over. In the bigger picture, in the European theater, Brandenburg has been destroyed. Berlin was taken over by the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth in part of an attack. And then I believe also Dresden fell to the Habsburgs. Now the Habsburg have been trying to strike an alliance deal with me, but it usually involves me giving up some form of territory in North America. The Russians seems to maybe be coming back. They've retaken Moscow. We can see that there are raidings going on in the Karelian region, so it could be that Russia is on the way back. And that's about it. Also, yes, there's a few other things that not map changes, but the Ottoman Empire has declared war on me in conjunction with Morocco, the Kingdom of Morocco. So there's a Muslim conspiracy against me. Also, the French moved in and they took Madrid. I didn't have a problem with that, because as we remember last time, the unhappiness in the region reached a staggering level of 33 minus for the nobility and the common classes. However, AI, of course, being the AI, somehow managed to turn that into 3 plus. Part of it, of course, is that the French, when they took it, stationed an army there. But still, also, I guess it's partly because they were able to station an army there. Obviously, over time, foreign resistance to occupation decreases. And then the fact, of course, that they are Catholic, so they do not get minus for the region being a different religion. Also, the University at Salamanca was set on fire, so the clamor for reform was reduced. Anyways, we're gonna have to go ahead and take this back, just to kind of give it back to the... Maybe what I can do is I can trade this region with the Spanish for Cuba, and then I don't need to invade it, and we can kind of call a peace here, because I want to see if I can move on India right now. I want to see if I can invade Calcutta. With that also said, when we're in the region of India, my ships managed to get to the East Indies. The problem with the East Indies are there's a lot of enemies. The only other nations trading in this region is France and Spain. So they attacked me. I was able to skedaddle away. So my fleet is now on its way to North America to resupply. But yeah, we're probably not going back to this region anytime soon. Even though trade prices on spice have actually spiked. Part of that is because as the French and the Spanish fleets that were there disengaged from the trade nodes trying to attack me, that means that there's basically no spice whatsoever almost being traded. Also, Morocco is raiding my trade, which means that I'm losing a lot of money. If we remember last time, I was up to, I think, 1700 or 17,000, I mean. So about 7,000 might, so much as 7,000 might be raided from my trade routes. In North America, I have started to establish a little bit more of control here. I've built up all the roads, so it should be fairly simple to be able to march any army back and forth across this vast continent. we've managed to get my army situated so that it's actually sieging New Orleans. We've got priests ready to change the religion in this area, and that's something I've also been working on. So most of it should be Protestant right now. There's a little bit of Catholics up here, 6.7%, but that will change as soon as this priest will die. We're also purging the Arcadia region, still has some Catholics, but that's gonna change. The Quebec region is also changing due to the church that we've built there. Now, with all of that said, I think I've gone through every change that has been made. Obviously, there might be some buildings here and there built up, and I think there was a few technologies that were discovered as well, if that's the... or researched. We're one turn away from procurement, so we've got a lot of new units coming in episodes after this, so that'll be nice. We ran into a problem. So John Churchill died right after, so right as I hit end turn after I finished the last episode, he died, and I was going to replace him with the next in line, which would be Benedict Thorne, which has the highest amount of stars. Now, the problem I ran into, as soon as I put him in this army, the game crashed. So I did that twice, both times the game crashed. So I thought, okay, I'll test someone else. I test the next one, which would be Warren Lusted, and it crashed again. And it kept doing stuff like that. So I imagine right now there's some kind of bug, probably related to the fact that with the death of John Churchill. So unfortunately, I don't know how to really work around it, in a sense, because I'm not entirely sure what it is. After this war, I'm gonna break up this army, and I'm gonna see kind of like what unit is it that the general cannot interact with. I'll probably disband quite a few units as well out of this army, because in the next turn I will get procurement, and so I will get a lot of new units. So a lot of the more useless units will be removed. Provincial cavalry never was really good. Targeteers, the arquebusier militia is definitely gonna go. There's gonna be a slew of new cannons coming in, so I think we'll just dissolve all these old ones, just melt them down and make new ones. The only units that are really gonna stay are units like the matchlock line infantry, the riflemen, colonial pikemen, heavy pikemen, and the colonial dragoons. Anyone else is gonna go, and we're trying to figure out how to put a general in this army. I also tried to put a general like this by enabling a new one, and that crashed it also. So there's something, the ghost of John Churchill doesn't want any other general to take control of his glorious army. With all of that said, we're gonna have a fight here. Now, we're quite a lot bigger than the enemy. We outnumber them by almost 1,000 men, 2-1. We have loads more cannons and so on. So I don't think it's gonna be that much of a fight. I will invite them to demand their surrender, but it's a bit too close to the middle to out-resolve. I think we would lose quite a lot of men. So I'm not gonna risk it. We're gonna do this one, and hopefully we'll have time to also do the second Battle of Madrid, and this time we'll make sure that it goes into the hand of the Spaniards. But hopefully I'll be able to trade it for Cuba. With that said, let's have Joshua Rackham and the ghost of John Churchill take New Orleans. Right, we have arrived at the crossroads here, just outside New Orleans. I have decided to go with the same battle plan as before, so we're moved into kind of 3 brigades, musketeers in the front and then 2 pikemen in the back. The cannons that I cannot move would be blocked by the big hill on that side, so I've placed them right here to cover not only the crossroads but a bit over into enemy territory as well. We're gonna drag these 12-pounders up onto the hill. They're gonna be followed by the targeteers, the dragoons, and the provincial cavalry, which now contains the general. Not entirely sure if it's a great idea to have the different brigades as spread out as it is right now, but I think it'll go pretty well. Hopefully. Let's go ahead and start this battle. We'll start by getting these 12-pounders up on the hill. Set the targeteers after them, and then the cavalry on the back slope of the hill. First brigade will be moved into this forest. Second brigade will be moved all the way up here. And then third brigade will be moved up on the highest point, slightly tilted to face the enemy. Now it looks like the French are actually going to march up and meet us on the hill, which isn't great. I was hoping to canister the bastards. So we'll kind of have to rethink the position of the artillery here. There's no point in pulling them down. At the same, we're gonna have to stop them right there. We're gonna put the targeteers in the back, dragoons to the side, this guy over here. We're gonna stop. Second brigade. I'm gonna see if I can tilt them slightly like that. First brigade is way out of line with everything else. We're kind of gonna have to move something like that. And third brigade also needs to turn pretty rapidly to be able to face the enemy. Cannons have deployed and we are able to spray the enemy with canister. Problem is they need to get kind of over. We cannot really fire upon them until they're roughly by this point here, which is actually marked in the marked in the map. But once they get over that point, they're at really close range, and it'll be kind of a massacre. Okay, so we've got shots coming in from the arquebusiers. Okay, so the armed citizenry are being spotted, and some of the colonial pikemen. We're gonna let the canister loose. Not great shots. They went over the enemy. That went straight up into the sky. Okay, they're making line. And they're making line like straight into my cannons. I'm sending in the targeteers. The unit over here is firing. The enemy doesn't really care, it seems. Okay, so both my cannons decided to join the melee. Pull back. Colonial pikemen are attacking. Heavy militia. We're gonna have the arquebusiers move back. 2 pikemen move into line. Targeteers stuck in fighting over there. We've got the matchlock infantry doing their volleys into the enemy. I'm gonna get the dragoons to dismount. I want to take a look at these guys. We haven't seen these before. Ooh, a rather nice unit. The heavy militia unit. Now we've got pikes set up there. What are we gonna do is we're gonna get these guys to the side here, drag them out in a long line, be able to fire upon the enemy. The dragoons should be able to inflict damage by firing in to the flank of the enemy and help out the targeteers. Same, we're going to be able to fire from up here. First brigade is nowhere near the fighting. It needs to march closer. These cannons are not doing anything, and now they're actually... Where did that unit come from? Where the hell did these pikemen come from? Did they march... How did they march through past all my lines and stuff? Okay, so my targeteers just retreated. And we got French pikemen now rampaging into our lines. This unit is doing very poorly. And now the enemy... Okay, so we're gonna have to advance. We're gonna split up the 3rd Brigade. I'm gonna get the Dragoons to move into the flank. These guys need to move up somewhere around there. And then one of the pike units should move there, while the other one moves over there. This unit is at risk of getting destroyed. We're gonna send one of the pike units over there. We're gonna send one over there. Very nice shots by the riflemen. We're gonna drop the pike formation over here and attack the colonial pikemen. This unit, before it gets destroyed, is gonna retreat. We still have 2 cannons over here. We'll turn to target the enemy. These guys gonna go ahead and strike into the back of the enemy. Militia arquebusiers just retreat. Damn, we just shot our own general. The ghost of John Churchill comes back to haunt this army by killing the general. We have our arquebusiers retreating. Our line infantry ready to put down fire upon the enemy. The 2 pike units are about to clash over here in a weird mess. Our riflemen are targeting the heavy militia. Mostly though, they're shooting our own unit. So I'm gonna turn them to face fire into this unit, which was absolutely murdered by ours. We won this fight over here as well. Let's send the remnants of what was the general's bodyguard over to kill the enemy. And all enemy units are now retreating. Everyone will march down the road now to get to New Orleans. And we have won this fight. There's no French resistance left except for the Sear cannon, which is about to get overrun by cavalry. So we did outnumber the enemy 2-1, but they still were able to inflict 714 casualties on us. I think large part of that was the fact that I sent the targeteers right into a pike unit. That didn't do too well. Also, we did have one of the pike units in the forest that was almost completely killed off. Only 13 men out of that unit remained. Also, the team killing, our artillery turned against the cavalry unit and shot that to pieces. Not very great. In terms of... Well, when we actually look at it, we killed about, what, 54 of our own men, if we look at it here. Highest killers goes to colonial pikemen, then to heavy pikemen, and it's all... targeteers actually end up pretty high. They end up in 5th place, but then again, 5th place, there's a very big difference in between 4th and 5th. 114 to 51, and especially if we compared losses, targeteers losing over half of the unit at 75%, while the colonial pikemen only lost 16 men, which is, I don't even know. That's not a lot. Colonial Dragoons didn't do that much. 33 men they shot. Arquebusiers. Matchlock infantry got 50. But then again, most of these, you would have to keep them in the fight for quite a long time, be able to shoot. Obviously the melee guys, since this also was quite a short battle. Anyways, we took New Orleans with John Churchill's Ghost Army. Not entirely sure what happened there, but it crashed right after I did the battle. I loaded a save and I out-resolved it. I actually lost less men. I lost 555, and it's more evenly spread, as we can see through the units. Maybe, hopefully, this fixed it, so I can actually put a general in charge of this. This unit managed to escape, which I don't know how that works. We're gonna bring up these guys and just make sure they don't run around destroying stuff. We're gonna get the generals as part of here. Hopefully can actually join this now. Maybe the curse is lifted. That would be very nice if that would be the case. Let's see if we can't make the second battle as well. So what we want to do is just open this up so I can see if I can make the trade then with... well, ask them nicely to leave. They won't do it, so we'll have to kill them all. With that said, let's go ahead and attack. We are on the hill overlooking Madrid. This army contains no musketeers. We only have pistoliers and pikemen of different sorts. We also have the halberdiers, of course. So I placed the halberdiers in the center behind the big pike formations. We'll roll down the hill, smash the enemy. What we cannot smash in melee, we'll smash with cannons and pistoliers. With that said, let's go ahead and start. The enemy is outside of the cannon range to start off with. They've dug in their cannon right inside the middle of the city. Looks like they're moving kind of most of the troops over to this side. We get to move our pistoliers then. We're gonna see about taking out the guard pistoliers and also try and attack some of the troops over here. Maybe lure the enemy within cannon range. Some of the cannons I can actually move forward to be able to more easily target the enemy. We'll march down the pikemen and the rest of our units, hoping that the enemy will try to meet us. Let's start by getting this pistolier unit. We'll have one unit coming in from kind of the flank, while one will be moving in straight from the front. And we'll see if we can match or target that correctly. Now the cannons open fire, and I note that they unfortunately shoot straight through our own units, killing 20 men in that unit and 7 men out of that, which is great. Let's get the pistoliers going, and I want these two to see if we can hit the guys over here. Now with the enemy pistoliers actually facing away from us, is a perfect target to ride up and shoot at them. So my guys are coming in. The enemy pistoliers, are they able to turn? Got the first shot off, got the second shot off. And then hopefully, before the enemy is able to return too much of fire, we charge in. The other two pistoliers, you will hold fire, because I know you will shoot the other unit if I don't. Now you can fire, as this one moves away. Oh, you don't even want to shoot, do you? I note an enemy pistolier over there that we need to deal with. Let's see, were we successful in taking down the enemy unit? We lost a lot of men though. The French pistoliers were very strong. And then we have armed citizenry back there. They're routing, they're shattered. Let's move away. And let's move this unit away. Enemies firing into our flank. We can see enemy units moving in. It's flintlock infantry and matchlock musketeers. I'm gonna send the halberdiers over to deal with them. I'll reorganize my pistoliers over here. We're gonna see about sending some to deal with these guys. And we've got some heavy pikes. I kinda wanna keep my pike formations as they are. Definitely need to deal with this guy already. We need 2 pistoliers over there. And then we see if the enemy pikemen want to march on to our pike formations. We'll go into pike... oh! Yes. Charge in. So we're moving into a very large pike line. I'm actually going to move my cavalry behind. It seems like the enemy is kind of going for them. Or trying to attack them. Oof. The enemy pistolier is doing a lot of damage to us. I think we're gonna see if we can shoot them down instead of charging in. Let's see, how's it going for our halberdiers? Ah, the halberdiers ran straight into a heavy pike regiment. And similarly over there. I thought it was just the enemy arquebusiers. The halberdiers are retreating. Our cavalry is moving into safety behind cover of the pikes. We're slowly shooting this one down. I ordered you to move back, and you shall move back. Once most of the enemy pike units are fully engaged with our pikes, then is when I will order the pistoliers to go out around and attack the enemy from the sides and rear. Looks like the enemy is trying to bypass us here. They're definitely gonna snag onto this unit though. I'm gonna send out the cavalry. The enemy is about to come into contact with this one anytime soon. Any second now. The enemy looks to be moving to attack the flank. This unit is very wounded. So all we'll do is we'll reorganize these, facing that way. And then we'll back this one up with this one. And this one will hold its position. Alright, move it into flank. And start firing. The enemy has decided not to attack here as of yet. I'm gonna move the cavalry over here. See if you can deal with the armed citizenry. Move into pike line. Just in case the enemy tries to envelop this unit, this one will be there to pick up the slack. The enemy doing line right there. Ooh, I like the look of that square. So I want the cannons to target that. Now with the pistoliers firing into the side of this one, it shatters them. Hold fire and ride them down. It means we can drop the 2 phalanx formations if you want. And we'll re-establish them over here. And we'll order the pistoliers to deal with these guys. Right, looks like they're gonna try and attack the flank over there. ordering the cannons to pick targets on their own. Slightly disjointed formation over there. Oh, cavalry went too far. And they rode probably into enemy pikes. Early flintlocks. Strike them from the back. And strike them from the side. Time to tell the cannons to hold fire, I think. They're firing too much on this unit. Which going straight into my own men and straight into the hill. At the same time, it looks like the enemy is now fully attacking our pike lines. I want to get 2 volleys more with these pistoliers into the enemy before we go ahead and charge. So that took loads of them. Then I want you to fire as well. And now you charge in. And then we can see the massive pike fight. I didn't even move into the pike formation here. Still, the French were slaughtered. Similar situation over here, where the enemy moved in and got slaughtered. Pistoliers to the front, ready to shoot down the enemy. Took a while, but I do think we've managed to slaughter these. What I want to do is I want to break formation. And now we'll break formation all over the place. The enemy is defeated. Now let's make sure that he knows it as well. The enemy is retreating over there. The enemy is retreating over there. I want to charge over there. These guys should go for the enemy cannon. You should march forward to get the enemy general. We're going to tell all the cannons. Didn't I change that? Oh. It resets when I crash. So we have 10 minutes to finish the battle. Which is good that it didn't took... or take any longer, that we were able to complete it in time. Ooh, why did we shoot down the church? Who exactly ordered our men to shoot down the Catholic Church? Not that maybe that it mattered that much. Enemy's general bodyguard is retreating. The cannons are retreating. We won. It took about 10 minutes. Ooh, maybe not. There, right. Victory. Madrid is now under our control. Once more. We lost 700 men. And we killed all of them. We can see that it's quite high amount of friendly casualties, about 130 I'd say, that we inflicted on ourselves. Highest killers were the pikemen, followed by the pistoliers. Armored halberdiers did pretty well, as long as when they were fighting the enemy harquebusier slash musketmen. Then they did really well, but they suffered heavy casualties once the pikemen turned up. So that was... I should have been looking a bit closer what was actually coming there. It looked like I saw the 2 units of musketeers, and I didn't want them to fire on my pikemen, so I charged forward the halberdiers, but enemy pikemen turned up and it didn't go too well for them. But with that, Madrid is now back in my control. We won't stay here though. We're gonna move back to Gibraltar. Not that I need to protect Gibraltar, because, I mean, you could see that Morocco has an army there, and they could. There is a crossing point. The thing is, my navy is over here, and since their sphere of influence is all over here, means that the enemy cannot cross, which is good. Let's go ahead and see if Spain agrees to this. So I can't even find Spain in Europe, so we'll go for Mexico. The Spanish have been asking for peace a number of times. It's a white peace. The only thing they want, or the only thing they demand, is the seeding tool. What is it called? All they want is the seed planting drill. They demand that. So even though they've been losing so badly against me, they still demand the bloody drill from me. I'm gonna request peace, and we're gonna see if they wanna. I'm gonna give you Spain, and I want Cuba. Will you agree to this, Spain? Diplomatic niceties is all that saves you. Bloody bastard. I still want peace with Spain. So how about I'll give you Spain, but you'll give me something smaller than Texas. New Spain. New Spain is a really good province. 9,000. That's like London. Panama. New Mexico. New Mexico has nothing. Where is New Mexico? Oh, it's all the way out there. How about New Mexico then? If you don't want to give me Cuba, give me at least New Mexico. Okay, so you don't. Well, fine. I'll leave you with this god-awful place. Burn everything. I could give it to France, you know? They've got a troop there. They're definitely gonna take it back. Okay, maybe. I want Cuba though, so I don't want to end the war just yet. But I mean, how silly is that? I'll give them back Madrid in exchange for them getting back Madrid. I guess they know that I can't hold on to it, and that's why they're. What if war with them will break out anytime soon anyways, right? So see if I can get something out of them. Maybe a technology instead. Naval architecture. That's bad. That's really bad that they have it. So I will demand. So and oh yeah, we'll give them Spain. Give you Spain, and you'll give me naval architecture. Diplomatic niceties is all that saves you. Well then, you tit. We'll just continue the war then. You bastard. Anyways, with that said, we're gonna end the episode right here. For the next one, I will be having the procurement. Why is it so troublesome for me to say that? Procurement. So we'll have hopefully new style army ready to deal with the enemy. Also, I mean, my army right here against bloody native bowmen. I don't know what these guys are thinking when recruiting bowmen. But we should be able to smash these. Destroy Morocco once more, leaving my trade open. What? It's a. I thought I saw the fleet and I was like, oh, that's a massive fleet. Ooh, I need to destroy that. That's gonna be epic, dude. It's a absolute shit fleet of light galleys. They're manned by 16 men each. It's a rowboat army. And it's inflicting so much on me, it's within distance of this. I'm gonna tear them to shit. But that will be in the next episode. Right. hopefully you guys enjoy this one, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!